Amazing. Hi guys.
Hey there, welcome back. I want to make a video series of us playing Five Nights at Freddy's.
We do not qualify for ad campaign. Welcome back to Babble. Okay, finally.
Hello? Okay.
Guys, that was like 10 minutes of... Yeah. My computer keeps deciding not to work.
That's okay.
But it's okay.
We got it working eventually.
We're all good. Welcome back to Babble, everyone.
Welcome back. Sorry we took last week off. It was Thanksgiving, so...
Thanksgiving. We were too busy giving thanks and being grateful.
We were too busy being grateful. And speaking of grateful, thank you so much for Spotify Wrapped. We were on so many people's Spotify Wrapped this year, which is awesome.
Our Spotify Wrapped was so good. Also, like, keep in mind we started this thing in June. It was only like 5 months of this year, and the fact that so many people listened in that time is amazing and wonderful. So thank you guys
and
so
the fact that we were several people's number one podcast is crazy.
We were a top 10 podcast for 44 people.
That's awesome.
I didn't realize that many different people listened, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Top 5 for 34 of you. One of which was me, but that's okay.
Really?
Yeah. It was
That's
like
funny.
number 2 or number 3 on mine. Just because like you do most of the editing, so you already hear it, but then I always listen when it comes out. And we're the number 1 podcast for 14 people.
Thank you to those 14.
I know Caroline is one of them. Still trying to get...
Caroline was one of
Oscar
them. I
status.
think Naomi is one of them.
I'm assuming Emily and Joseph. Love you guys.
I think Emily is like we're her number 3 or something. So
why'd we have her on
Let's
here?
work on that and let's fix it. No, just kidding. But yeah, that's so awesome.
Yeah, it's so good.
It was so exciting.
I know, it was so great to see. I didn't even think about it. Like, everyone gets so excited for Spotify Wrapped. And obviously, I was excited again this year. I always love seeing it. And this is the first year Caroline doesn't share my account. So I was like, this is going to be, like, accurate Spotify Wrapped data. There won't be a song from the Disney Channel Zombies movie on there this year. She had that, like, do you remember that one time we were, like, trying to play music while crafting or something? And she was listening to, I think it's called Skin and Bone from Zombies 2. I think it was the second one. And we kept checking in every once in a while, like, sorry, every 15 minutes we just check, and she's still listening to the same song on repeat for, like,
she had it on repeat
hours.
3 or 4 hours, which was crazy.
So,
thankfully you got separated from that.
Thankfully. I had to, like, bribe her. I forget what I did, but I had to bribe her to get her off my account. But yeah, I was so excited to see it this year, and then I totally forgot that, like, we run a podcast now. We're gonna get Spotify Wrapped for our podcast, which is really awesome. Because I would always love artists, like, seeing artists post, like, thank you guys so much, and, like, so many people listen, and, like, we got that too. That's really cool.
So exciting.
But speaking of Spotify Wrapped, do we just want to update, like, tell the people what we got going on?
Yeah. I was really happy with mine this year. I feel like sometimes it misrepresents what I listen to, but I feel like I was happy with it this year. Ooh. Do you want to go first? Do you want me to go first?
You go first.
Okay. So my number 1 artist was Samia, which I love Samia more than anything in the world. Did you know she moved away from Nashville yesterday?
I saw, and I did indeed cry.
Yep.
You guys,
she left Nashville yesterday.
Met Samia and Briston Maroney in Nashville multiple times, and it's just like some of the sweetest memories of just like casually running into people that you really idolize and having super normal interactions with them.
To the point where like you could tell that Samia recognized us when we were in public.
Yeah.
And like we would intentionally not talk to her because we didn't want to ruin her day again.
Like, it was just always so sweet. And the time Briston, like, rolled down his window and complimented our shirts while driving by.
Yeah.
And even just, like, we would always run into them at Portland Brew. And the fact that that's, like, in one of her songs, that is crazy to me. Like, I listen
that
to
is
that
the place
song.
I go to that place 4 times a week.
Right. Like,
And
it just, like...
I don't know. It's special.
And now that I live far, like, that kind of stuff always just, like, brings me back there. Like, just to that time in my life where, you know, we were going to East Nashville all the time and just living it up. And it makes me so happy. I'm not going to get sappy, but I was really sad to see that they were moving. But no, I think I'm going to get As You Are tattooed on the back of my arm.
Do it.
Because I love that song. Anyway, go back. Sorry, go.
I just love her so much, and her new album came out this year, so I had that on repeat. I am always so surprised if an artist ever tops Taylor Swift, just because Taylor has so many songs and so many different styles of music that you can listen to her at any time, any mood, any genre you want. You can pull her up. So she usually makes my top 5.
It's 'Tis the Damn Season. She wasn't on your top 5?
She was this year, but I'm just surprised that Samia passed her. But my top song was Charm You, which I think it's definitely one of my favorites off of the album. It's just such a, like, I don't think I've ever skipped it. Like, I really, really love listening to it. Surprisingly, it's not my favorite Samia song, though, but I really, really love it. It may be tied for first, actually. I don't know. I listen to it a lot. My second artist is, let me just say, my first, my 3 top songs, 1, 2, and 3, are all from the new Honey album, Samia. My second artist is Taylor. She announced Speak Now, Taylor's version, at my show. You think I'm not going to have that on repeat? Third is Big Thief. Love. Big Thief, guys, I think Big Thief is my favorite band of all time. They, like, there's just something about them. If you don't listen to Big Thief, get on that, because they're really awesome. Agreed. Number 4 is Phoebe Bridgers. Who would have guessed? And then number 5 is Buck Meek, which is awesome because I really, really love Beak. Whoa. Guys, I love Beak.
You said it, like, so naturally and immediately caught it too. It's like you knew it was coming.
Oh my god. I love Buck Meek. And I was really, really happy and thrilled that he was in my top 5. My top songs, Charm You, Amelia, and Honey, are all Samia. Number 4 is True Blue by Boy Genius, and number 5 is Interstate Vision by Lamelda.
I love that song. So mine actually came out as expected. Little embarrassing. Just a tiny bit. But we knew it was coming. I saw the 1975 live in concert last November, not this year, like 2022, and quite literally listened to them, and only them, for like December, January, February, March, and most of April. And you know, they're mixed in. So my top artist this year was the 1975. I spent a very embarrassing 5,190 minutes with them. I am a top 0.5% fan.
100% you are.
And this actually made me really happy. They weren't in any of my top songs this year, which is crazy. I listen to them the most. But I'm so excited. My top song is Triptych by Samia, which is...
What a beautiful
We were just
song.
talking about it, like, the most perfect song ever written. Like, That's the one no skip song. Like, I truly never skip it. It, like, doesn't matter how I'm feeling when it comes on. It will fit whatever feeling I'm having. And
it is
like,
a perfect song.
It's truly a perfect song. Soundtrack of my life. I'm absolutely obsessed with it. So excited that was the first one. That made me so happy. I listened to it 61 times this year.
Awesome. Oh, Amelia, I have to tell you this.
Uh-oh.
My friend Nathaniel, his top song, guess how many times he listened to it this year?
100.
2,000.
What song was it?
It was a Sea Rose song. Do you know Sea Rose?
Yeah. Was it a house song?
No. I can't remember which one it was. But he has that shit on repeat.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I was gonna say like 300, but I didn't want it to be one of those things where you're like, guess how much? And then I overshoot it, and it's like not as fun of a reveal.
No.
But
only 2,000.
Only 2. That's
Someone
crazy.
check in on him.
But yeah, Triptych is like the best song ever. Please go listen to it. I just love it so much. Also, I lied. 1975 is. Hi, this is Amelia from the future. We had really fun technical difficulties, and my mic stopped working again. So that's what's happening here. Okay, bye.
Well, maybe I'll sing a tune while we're waiting on you. Actually, while we're waiting on that to load, can I talk about my obsession with Josh Hutcherson currently? Okay. So Amelia's mic is not working, so I'm going to kind of introduce you to my newest obsession, which is anything Josh Hutcherson. It is really scary because I have never... Amelia is singing "Can You Blow My Whistle, Baby." I have never felt so attracted to a man in my life. Respectfully, I would do anything for him, and I somehow cannot get the ick from him, which has never, in my 19 years of living, happened to me before. I can always talk myself out of a crush on a man. Always. Not this man. So I've been watching everything he's ever been in. Future Man is really good if you guys want to watch that. I did see his full naked body the other day on the show, which I was not expecting in the slightest. It came out of nowhere, and I was not physically prepared for that. So I had to pause and lay down for a second. It really came out of nowhere. If you want to watch Future Man, just know one of the very first scenes of the show, jerking off.
I'm back.
Oh.
Oh.
And then one of the last scenes of the show.
That's a great time for me to come back. Jerking off.
One of the last scenes in the show, fully naked, fighting his alternate self, fully naked. So.
Very sexy. Can you blow my whistle, baby? Whistle, baby. They can hear me now. Sorry, guys. Okay, going back. Sorry, my mic is not working.
Yeah, no, it's totally okay. You go ahead.
I don't know why this keeps happening. I know what the problem is now, so if it happens again, I can fix it faster.
Okay.
Anyway, top songs. Triptych, About You. My third one is Sparks by Coldplay. One of my favorite songs of all time.
And that's your cross to bear.
It is. No one is going to judge me for that. I am a hopeless romantic, and I did spend a lot of this year fucking yearning, you guys. So
I am currently in that stage where you were earlier this year. I am currently there.
Yeah.
So
no, I
awesome.
Unfortunately, most of my 2023 Spotify rap playlist this year is songs from my yearning era.
That's okay.
It's okay. Anyway,
representation matters.
Yeah. True. Number 4 is Freaking Out in the Interstate by Bristol Maroney.
Freaking out
on the interstate. I love that song. And then 5 is Multiplied by Miss Dora Jar.
I love that song.
Also, I found this out the other day. She posted something about it. Her first name is really Dora, but her last name is not Jar. It starts with Jar, so she just shortened it so it'd be Dora Jar, which is kind of cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
She is so good live.
I'm so sad, you guys. I didn't get to go see the 1975, and I am really sad about it. But also, it was super expensive.
You will see them again one day.
I will. It's gonna happen. I was just kind of sad.
That's crazy that it was super expensive because my ticket was $15.
I feel like it makes sense because some of the other, like the show out, not the Madison Square Garden ones, but like some of the other shows were also going for super cheap. I think it's a location thing because especially up in New England, like we have a few hubs like Boston and New York. Like people from all over are going to go to those, like Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire, like they're all going to Boston. And then like Jersey, Delaware, Pennsylvania, like a lot of those will go to New York. So it makes sense to me. Because for a lot of people, that's like the only chance they'll get. But yeah, they were still like $90 for blocked view seats.
Wow.
Like I was considering it, but then I saw that it was like obstructed view. It was like behind the stage. Yeah. I wouldn't have been able to see anything.
You will see them eventually.
I will.
You'll see them again.
But yeah, my top artists this year are the 1975, Harry Styles.
Samia, this is the first time in a long time that Harry didn't make my top 5.
Which is disappointing.
Well, that makes me sad.
Samia came in at 3rd, which I think is pretty good. Miss Phoebe at 4th, which you had Phoebe at 4th too.
Yeah, we're twin.
And Taylor at 5. I was really sad Boy Genius wasn't one of them, but that's okay.
I was kind of surprised Boy Genius wasn't on mine, but I think I do listen to Phoebe more than I do Boy Genius.
I'm pretty sure they're all over my, like, the 20. Okay, I think I solved the problem.
Oh, True Blue was on mine, so I guess Boy Genius was there.
I'm so sorry. If you...
Oh, that is such a good song. Okay. I think it's funny, like, every few minutes, you're, like, in the middle of the sentence, and you go,
because it's just stops working. I think I figured it out, though.
Okay.
It's because I'm using my AirPods and not my headphones.
Oh, yeah.
For our call, and so my computer keeps trying to hook up to them for some reason, so I just turned Bluetooth off. So we should be good.
Woof.
But yeah, I think I don't really have any other updates. I'm just vibing. I'm really excited to get into what we're going to get into today.
Me too. Should we hop right in?
I think we should hop right in. So we decided we needed to do something fun. This is actually Lucy's idea.
Yeah.
I get a text from Lucy that says, I feel like a lot of our podcasts start with, I got a text from Lucy that said, I got a text from Lucy that said, what if we read a really, really bad book and talk about it on the podcast?
Mm-hmm.
And I said, oh, I know just the one. So this is a book I have read before. I got like halfway through it. I listened to it on audiobook this time around, but I remember most of it, and you'll have to like fill me in on some of the end. But I do remember. I spark notes most of it too. It is a book called Crave,
and I did read the entire book, so I need.
It's one of those things like even when this book is huge too. It's like 1,000 pages.
Mm-hmm.
But I read this book in like winter 2021. When I had my broken hand, I had nothing better to do. School was still online. And keep in mind, like, I could have stopped reading it multiple times, but I could not stop laughing at the ridiculousness 100%. That I did read the entire thing. And honestly, I kind of want to read the rest of the series. Like, it'd be such a waste of my time, but it's just so crazy. But it's called Crave by Tracy Wolff.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure.
If you look at the cover, it looks very Twilight-esque.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure you've
Spicy,
probably
maybe?
seen the cover places, and like, you are a soldier if you've read this book before, and I'm not going to say I'd encourage you to read this book because it's pretty crazy, but if you want a really good laugh and some really bad writing, and relatively, like, it was a pretty quick read, just because like it wasn't good. It was
It's
kind of like
shitty writing.
trashy romance almost, but
No. So, really bad book. We'll talk about all of it, but a little background. It was released in 2020. Really thick. It's a thick book. There have since
unnecessarily
been 5
so.
more books.
Unnecessarily so.
It didn't need to be that long.
I have a bone to pick about this, so let me circle back to this later. Okay,
Okay, I know what you're gonna say,
Yeah.
and I want to hear you go off.
Okay.
There are 6 books total in this series. She just kept
man.
writing more, which is insane.
It's exhausting to think about.
I know. So yeah, so we read that book. We're gonna talk about it, and then as a little treat, I summoned all my courage
Mhm.
and checked out every single one of the books from the library except the very last one, so we could read you guys a little bit of the beginning and end of the rest of the series, because we don't want to read the whole thing.
Yeah.
Except I do, but we're not gonna do that. So
Okay, so do we want to like just kind of go through the plot of the book? Do you want to start there?
yeah, I think we should summarize, and then I made some notes of specific
Me
things
too.
I would like to point
Me
out.
too. So
Okay.
this book opens with the main girl. Her name is Grace. Do we know her last name?
I think we do. I don't. The fact that her name is Grace pisses me off. I could not tell you why. It makes me so mad.
Okay. Well, her name is Grace.
I don't know
and
why.
she
Foster. Grace Foster.
Grace Foster, and she
Mhm.
is in a helicopter, private jet. Oh, are you okay?
The fan art. The fan art.
Oh no, send it
The
to
fan
me.
art.
We'll post the fan art.
It's just okay.
So Grace is on, is it like it's an airplane helicopter type situation, flying to Alaska in the first chapter. And she's kind of talking like she's very poor me, very like, I didn't even want to come to Alaska. She discloses that both of her parents have died in a car crash, naturally, and she's
Like weeks prior,
ago, and she
like,
does not,
so soon.
she doesn't seem like, I mean, she seems sad, but she also just seems like neutral about it, which is,
She's like, oh my god, my life sucks. This is the worst thing to ever happen to me. It's like, girl,
yeah, it's like, how are you not like, I don't know.
falling apart.
Yeah, falling apart. OMG, this fan art is crazy. Okay. So when did...
Would
she
you say
doesn't-
it's crazy AF?
Yes, it's crazy AF. Something that's quoted
get
many
into
a
that.
time in this book.
Yeah,
Um,
we'll get into that.
I didn't know she had pink hair. I don't think she does.
Apparently.
I don't think she does in the book. Anyways, so she's flying currently to live with her uncle and cousin in Alaska. And she's going to go to school with her cousin. Her uncle is like the... What is it called? Principal, headmaster.
of Katmere Academy,
Katmere Academy.
in Fairbanks, Alaska.
And it's really fancy. So basically, the first chapter is her describing her flight and how she doesn't want to be in Alaska. She doesn't like the cold. I'm really, really loving the description of her outfit. She is donning emoji leggings in the very first scene, and the author just really had to point that out for us. And it's kind of like she says it in a way, the way she describes her outfit, which is like, I think like just like a tank top or like a long sleeve shirt and her emoji leggings and like not really even like a
Like-
coat or anything. And the way she
Nope.
describes it is like trying to make her seem different from other girls. Like, I didn't even have anything fashionable. Like, I literally just threw on these emoji leggings, but it is actually like, it made me LOL. So I was like, maybe me and this
I
book.
put on these emoji leggings because my parents just died.
I put on these emoji
And-
leggings because my parents just died and it's the worst thing in my life. But now I have to move to the beautiful state of Alaska. Oh,
What?
sorry, you got.
Oh, did I?
No, you're back now though.
Oh, okay, sorry.
So,
Am I back?
You are back now.
Okay, my internet keeps getting booted.
No, that's okay.
Whatever the University of Southern Maine is doing right now, they need to stop.
USM,
Okay.
calm down. So she
Calm the
gets
fuck
there.
down.
When she lands, she gets out and she's greeted by her cousin. Her cousin's name is Macy. I thought it was Maggie.
You cannot remember names. Jeez.
No, I cannot. Okay, so Macy is like described as like effortlessly beautiful. She's like got a full face of makeup on. She's like, her hair is beautiful. She's got a sleek, chic outfit. And she basically like greets her cousin and then is like, let's hop on this snowmobile and I'm gonna drive us back to campus on this snowmobile. And
How else would you do it?
how else would you do it? So they like strap her bags onto the snowmobile and she's like, I just wore my emoji leggings. It's so freezing out here. I'm like, girl, what did you expect? It's Alaska.
What emoji do we think it was? Do we think it was a bunch of emojis or just like one repeated over
I
and
would
over
say
again?
it's probably a bunch, but I'm going to guess that the one with the black sunglasses is used frequently in that pattern.
Okay. So everyone imagine that.
And honestly, facts on God, because I use that emoji a lot. Amelia, you haven't heard me say this yet, but that is my new like favorite thing to say is facts on God. So you may hear that in the upcoming podcasts because I have been saying it a lot.
I love it. It just really took me off guard.
So
Facts on
basically,
God.
Macy and our beloved Grace drive up to the school, and I think it takes a few hours on the snowmobile. I'm like, girl, just take a car. Like, what? And she's like, and Macy's like weaving.
There's snow though.
Macy's like weaving in and out of trees, like in the forest, and she's like, where are we? Like, okay. So when she gets to the school, she immediately is like starstruck. She's like, oh my god, this is so fancy, like castle vibes. Yeah. She's looking around, she's having a good time.
There's a lot of Alaskan wilderness,
so true. And then Grace loves to point out how hot every man is in this school.
No, not just how hot AF.
Hot A.
You guys,
F.
The amount of times AF is used in this book. Can we do a brief overview of what's going on? Like, can we just do a brief summary and then get into the details? Or do you?
Oh yeah, 100%. You go on.
Okay, so essentially, what's going on here is, Macy, her cousin, and her uncle. I forget his name. He's irrelevant. He runs this school. She realizes something is off. She meets bad boy Jaxon, who's like
Jaxon spelled
and
Jaxon.
And there's a guy named Flint, which, like, okay, when
Flint,
you realize
seriously.
what's going on, why is that his name? Anyway, it's all, like, mysterious. You don't really know what's going on. She keeps, like, she's constantly commenting on how all the students will go outside in the Alaskan winter with, like, no coats on.
And she's like,
that's, like, really strange,
she's
but
like,
whatever.
I can't believe they're not cold. I'd be freezing to death
like,
out
this
there.
is so normal. And
It's
like
like
these two guys randomly try to attack her, and then all of a sudden they're getting thrown into walls, and Jackson's behind her, and she's just like, no, this is a little weird, but like totally normal.
It is kind of like she's very like she observes all of it and she's like taking it all in, and she notices that it's weird, but she doesn't do anything about it. She's just like, okay. It's like, what?
It's really strange. Eventually, it is revealed that this is a school full of vampires and dragons.
The dragon part actually shocked me. Because I thought it was going to be like... Yeah, I was not expecting dragon. Like, she went to the library.
His name's fucking Flint.
His name's Flint. But I thought he was gonna be a werewolf, because I don't know, it just, in my head I was like, that's the only other option. And then dragon, I'm like,
Right.
what? And the way they describe Flint
dragons.
turning into a dragon is just like so funny.
Dragons and vampires. And so essentially, like, she also has this friend named Leah who, like, her boyfriend was Hudson, who is Jackson's younger brother, who died, right?
Yes.
And Grace is a human. Like, she's not a vampire or a dragon.
Oh, I'm just remembering the end.
Can you do from here on out? Because
Yeah.
I vaguely remember.
So essentially she's noticing everything and she's like, what is going on? And Jackson is obsessed with her. Like, Jackson will not leave this girl alone. But it's like, Macy, her cousin, is always commenting on, like, you need to stay away from Jackson, he's really dangerous. And then Macy kind of sees how Jackson acts around Grace. There are several instances where she's just naturally very clumsy, or like she gets herself into trouble and he's always there to save her, and like
literally Bella from Twilight.
He's very like gentle with her, surprisingly, but then also like in private he's very kind to her almost, and like pays attention to her a lot. And then like in public he like ignores her low key until like something bad happens to her, and then he's like freaking out. And it's important to note that Jackson and Flint both seem to have some kind of like infatuation with her, but she wants to be friends with both. She thinks Flint is charming, but she doesn't like him like that, and she's like mysteriously drawn to Jackson's cold, mysterious aura. But Jackson is always like, you need to stay away from Flint. Like, they are rivals. Yeah. So everyone's telling her,
dragons don't miss.
Yeah, everyone's telling her like she can't be friends with both, blah blah blah. Well, her and Jackson, like, there's very, very clear romantic tension. He's like lingers a lot. He
lets it linger.
One thing about Jackson, he's about to let that linger.
He's gonna let it linger.
Yeah. Oh, it's also important to note there are like earthquakes happening throughout this entire book. She like gets there and every now and then, like every other chapter, there's an earthquake, and she's like, "What even was that?" And everyone's like, "Oh, earthquake, like, earthquake." So, and then they just like move on. But she gets hurt so many times. Jackson's always there to save her. Macy's telling her, like, everyone in her life is telling her she needs to get away from Jackson, but she's like, no, there's something about him. Like, he's not the monster everyone says he is. Well, she is always finding someplace, like, she's always getting hurt. Every chapter she gets hurt, and her classes are postponed. Like, she doesn't go to any classes, like, this entire book, maybe. Her uncle's always like, oh, I'll just push back your classes another few days. And then that happens every other chapter.
No, she never goes to school.
So eventually she confronts Jackson about the mysterious things happening on campus. The library is like a really weird place, and there are lots of like weird books, and like she's noticing that the classes that people are taking are really like strange. They're like, they have to do with like mythical creatures, and she's like, what? This is so weird. She sort of becomes friends with Leah, and you talked about her earlier. Leah was dating Jackson's younger brother, who passed away, but you don't really know anything about him. And there seems to be...
It's just like a taboo topic for the whole thing. It's
for
like
the whole
no
school.
one wants to talk about it. It's very mysterious. Like,
and there's like tension between Leah and Jackson, like, and you eventually find out that they used to be friends before Hudson's death, but now they don't really get along. You also find out that Flint and Jackson used to be friends as well before Hudson's death. So you don't really know what happened with Hudson, but he's brought up a lot. So essentially everyone's obsessed with Grace. There's like a huge snowball fight. She gets hurt, of course. Everyone wants to be there for Grace. Everyone wants to be Grace's friend. And everyone stares at her all the time. And she's like, I feel like such an outsider here, blah, blah, blah.
It's like, I'm just a normal girl.
I'm just a normal girl, guys.
I'm not like other girls, but also I am.
But she's, so eventually she kind of corners Jackson and is like, what is going on? What is going on? And correct me if I'm wrong, but this is where like she kisses him and he like then he bites her.
Yeah.
But she doesn't.
This is about as far as I got.
Yeah, she kisses him and he is like overcome with a hunger for her and bites her on the neck, and she kind of blacks out and she wakes up and she's
Hunger hurts.
She wakes up in the infirmary and she's like healed, and then she starts to put the pieces together and she's like, Jaxon is a vampire. Facts on God, Jaxon is a vampire.
Can that be the title of the episode,
Yeah.
please?
So she's like putting the pieces together, and then Jaxon kind of comes clean and he's like, yes, we have vampires, we have dragons, and they're werewolves, but they call them something else, but I can't remember what they're called. Do you remember what they're called?
Oh, I forgot there were actually werewolves. No.
There are, but there are no like really main characters who are werewolves, so they're not really like a big part of the story. Well,
because that would be copyright.
That would be
On
copyright. So essentially, after figuring this all out, her and Jaxon are trying to give their relationship a go. And it's very weird because like every time like they're in a heated kiss and you think that, oh, maybe they're about to have sex or something, he just like bites her neck and then she like
Do they ever actually have sex?
No.
Like people like I think this is supposed to be like
steamy
a
book,
spicy romance,
but it's not.
And it's not.
They don't ever have sex. Like it's it's like he bites her neck and then she orgasms and that's it. Like it's like like that's for some reason like when he bites her neck, like something like flows through her body, and that is the point of pleasure. Like I think this author just didn't want to write sex scenes. I don't know. But
yeah, I don't know.
Essentially they're giving the relationship a go, and she is going into the cafeteria. Oh, sorry, I hit that. And she's going to sit with her friend Flint because she's like determined not to give up her friendship with Flint but still stay in a relationship with Jaxon. And a chandelier falls and almost hits her, and then Jaxon is kind of like, there is someone at this school who is trying to kill you, and they've been trying to kill you since you got here. And she's like, okay, whatever you say.
I think I remember who it is.
But she's kind of just like, oh, clumsy. But then Jaxon, after this chandelier incident, Jaxon is like, Flint is the one who's trying to kill you. And so she's like, no way. Like, he's my friend. Like, why would he be trying to kill me? Someone probably just set him up with the chandelier thing.
I know we're not there yet, but when we get to like where you're going to reveal who it was and what's going on, can I guess? Because I think I remember who it is, but I didn't read this far this time around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%.
I want to see if I'm right.
So essentially this whole I don't really know how to describe this part because it's very poorly written and very like everything moves so fast in this book, which is so surprising how she fit the whole story into like 1,000 pages, because every chapter she's just repeating the same thing. Like, okay, here's
also, yeah, like 20 million things happen.
Here's the thing that, like, my biggest critique about this book is that there's no, like, time skip at all. You are in that girl's brain from the second she arrives in Alaska, and like, the author really wrote down her every thought, and it's so unnecessary because she's just like
every minute of her day.
Yeah, she's just talking in circles in her head. So you're reading like the same 4 sentences over and over and over, and she's just like, well, what's going on? But what is Jaxon? And what are we? And blah, 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 blah. And so like nothing really gets said in this whole book until like the end, when all the action happens like way too fast. And essentially, Grace is trying to get Jaxon to become friends with Leah and Flint again, and she's like talking with Leah. She's like, Jaxon like really loved Hudson as well. Like, I think you guys should try to be friends again. Like, you guys shouldn't let your grief come between you. And Jaxon eventually tells you that he is the one who killed Hudson, because Hudson was essentially trying to commit genocide and wipe out anyone who wasn't a vampire. And so you kind of find out that Jackson like has been the good guy all along. He's not this dangerous guy, but he puts on this dangerous facade so that essentially to keep the peace between everyone. And he killed Hudson so that he wouldn't commit genocide. And Leah, it was really angry at him. So after talking to Leah, you figure out that she tries to make peace with Jackson and brings him like this tea and is like, I think we should try to be friends again. Essentially, she poisons him.
Right.
She poisons him.
Leah,
yeah,
right?
It's Leah. She poisons him, and he is kind of like helpless. Like he's very drowsy and stuff. And she captures Grace. Grace wakes up in like this weird chamber all chained up and bloody. And she's like, what is going on? She figures out that Leah is trying to revive Hudson. And for some reason, she needs Grace to do that. It does.
Because Grace is a human, right?
Grace is human, but what does that mean? Like, how does that work? I don't know. She doesn't really do a good job of explaining it. And she's trying to revive Hudson, and then Grace is struggling to break free, and then Flint and Leah are fighting because Flint is like, don't do this. You don't want to revive him, because Flint knows the truth as well.
Is Leah a vampire?
Leah is a vampire.
Okay.
Yes, he is. Yes, she is, sorry. And so, essentially, there's a huge fight scene. You think that Flint might be a bad guy as well, but then Flint is like, Jackson was on Leah's side. Like, Jackson and Leah have been planning this for ages. So then you think Jackson might be a bad guy, but then you figure out maybe he isn't. It's just a lot of back and forth. And then essentially the fight ends with Grace, the main character, being put into some kind of coma. And Leah's dead. Flint is injured, but he's okay. Jackson is okay. The last chapter of the book is from Jackson's perspective. And they're talking about Grace, and they're like, we've never seen this before. We didn't know any of these still existed. Like, we don't know what's going on. She might be stuck this way forever. And essentially, the last, like, sentence of the book, you find out that Grace is a gargoyle.
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
And I was like, I'm sorry, I have never laughed so hard at the end of a book.
Of all the things she could be.
A gargoyle? What? Why did you choose a gargoyle?
Totally forgot about that.
I like saw that. I was like, that is the ugliest, like, most awful thing you could be. Like, why would you be a gargoyle? It's so weird. And I was like,
Okay.
the story's over. Like, I do not need 6 more books of this, especially because she repeated the same 4 sentences over and over and over.
Literally.
But the way she worded a lot of stuff was so funny.
Yeah, now that you guys have literally a spoiler of the entire book, sorry about that, but also it's fine. I would like to, we're at 40 minutes, so quickly, like, hit our details.
Yeah.
And then I'll read some pages from the other books. If we still want to do that. This can be a little bit of a longer one. There is one section of this book that I would like to read out loud, and I think you know which one it is. Because, holy shit, why is this in a book? But I forget what chapter it's in. You know what I'm talking about?
I think so.
The songs?
Oh, yes. Okay, do you want me to start with mine while you're looking for that?
You go, I'm gonna find it.
Something that we both pointed out, this author really tries to be relevant in the media that she references. So Amelia's going to find the song part. I'm going to talk about the movie part. So this is when Jackson and Grace are texting and they're kind of getting to know each other. Jackson is supposed to be the bad boy, but he's showing his sweet side over text, and he's low-key, like, she's, like, falling for him. So, yeah, let me just read these text messages. Jackson, what's your favorite movie? Me. ATM?
Oh, okay, I found the whole
ATM?
page. I found the whole page.
Okay. At the moment, to all the boys I've loved before. Of all time, some kind of wonderful. Grace says, yours. Jackson says, Die Hard. Grace says, seriously? He says, what's wrong with Die Hard? She says, nothing. Jackson says, JK, it's Rogue One. Grace says, the Star Wars movie? And she goes, at the moment, to all the boys I love before. Okay, you do your song one.
I can't find it. I am gonna find it.
Okay, here's one part where
I'm so
Jackson's
sorry,
talking
you
about a
guys.
song that I really laughed at. He says, Van Morrison's Brown Eyed Girl is my new favorite, though. And then Grace says, I dropped my phone because what do I say to that? How am I not supposed to swoon over this boy? Like, seriously? How am I not supposed to swoon? It's impossible.
Impossible.
Grace loves Niall Horan and Maggie Rogers.
Yeah.
And Take Me to Church
That's where I'm
and Umbrella by Rihanna.
It's like all of these things are listed, and this came out in 2022. So
Yeah.
So it was like literally right after, like, a lot of these things dropped.
And she mentions Harry
Oh,
Styles a
you
lot,
guys.
which is crazy.
Yeah, I'll talk about that part in a second. Was it after the snowball fight?
Yes.
Okay.
I have the screenshot
Snowball
where
fight is crazy.
the snowball fight
I
is
know, but
crazy.
I want to get like I want to get the whole thing.
Okay.
Because it's wild.
Well, while you're saying,
Okay, I think I got
okay,
it. Oh no. Nope.
let me go
Sorry,
over
guys,
my
I'm
next favorite
sorry.
part. So Jackson, he has telekinesis.
I got it.
And okay, go ahead.
No, go with the
Okay,
telekinesis.
so I
and
forgot
then
to
I'm
mention
ready.
this.
I'm so sorry.
That in this book, vampires have some powers, but telekinesis is very powerful, and he's like the only one who has telekinesis. They don't really explain why or how, but he does. And like Grace's whole thing in this book is that she really wants to see the northern lights. And so one night they go out on like his balcony and he's like, hold on. They're like wrapped up in a blanket. They're laying down and he lifts them up into the sky and they turn and like they just spin around in circles. He says this. Jackson just laughs and pulls me back in, this time with my back against his chest so I can see everything and feel him wrapped around me at the same time. It's the ride of a lifetime, better than anything Disneyland or Six Flags could ever dream up. I laugh all the way through it, loving every second of it. And he spins us around and round and round through the lights. I like could not stop laughing at just like a
What?
picture of them together just like spinning in the air.
Literally, what kind of fan fiction is she trying to write? Because it's so fan fiction-y,
It
but
really
I don't know like
is.
what.
It really is.
Okay, so right after the movie stuff, this is like, because I remember when I first read this in 2020, I immediately sent you screenshots of these pages. But Jackson, favorite song? Me. OMG, I can't choose. Jackson, what if I said you had to? Me, I can't. There are too many. You? Jackson, I asked first. Me, you suck. Jackson, you have no idea how much.
Ew!
Because he's a vampire. Me, okay, fine. ATM, Niall Horan's Put a Little Love on Me, and Anything by Maggie Rogers. Of all time, Take Me to Church by Hosier or Umbrella from Rihanna. She said Umbrella from Rihanna. What? You? Jackson, Savage Garden, Truly Madly Deeply, Anything by Childish Gambino or Beethoven.
Or
Van Morrison's
Beethoven.
Brown Eyed Girl is my new favorite, though. And then she, like, picks it up and she plays that song on repeat for a really long time. And the part at the end of this chapter is, like, absolutely insane. Because I'm pretty sure they're, like, texting about food or something. And, like, the conversation, like, got kind of awkward. She was like, well, what do you like to eat? And then she starts freaking out. She's like, oh my God, no, like, why? Like, that sounds so bad. And he didn't answer whatever she's freaking out. He's like, I don't think we're there yet.
Yeah, that was crazy.
And the last sentence of the chapter is like, that was the right answer. And then it's just like,
That is crazy. She was freaking
so
out a
weird.
little too much about that. She was like, what do you like to eat?
she really
Like,
was.
that's a normal question. Like, what's your
panicked.
favorite food?
Also, why do we need to, like, know every single little anxiety she
Hey,
has.
I don't need
Literally
to know
every thought.
because all of them are so boring. Like, she is such a boring person. Like, I cannot. I don't know. It's just
No, okay.
it's really
I
bad
have
writing.
a little list.
Go ahead.
So we've already mentioned AF is used so much.
AF.
Sexy AF is
Sexy
the big one.
AF. Okay.
Sexy AF,
Jaxon
but nothing
is
about this book is sexy.
AF.
I mentioned this, and you were like, "What are you talking about?" But this, like, to my core, bothers me so much for some reason. When she first, like, walks into the school and kind of describes it, she's like, in a castle, it's super old, whatever. There's a bunch of people playing on a big Xbox in the middle of the room. And then the fucking Xbox is never mentioned again. That bothers me so much, and I don't know why.
It's hard to tell,
like,
it's so, like, the setting...
What universe are we in?
The setting is so, like, old and, like, castle-y, but it's not like Harry Potter because there's, like, an Xbox, and then they're talking about Niall Horan.
She also, like, mentions Harry Potter and Twilight. Like, all these things are mentioned. So I'm like, where are we in time and in, like, universe?
And
I'm
just confused about, like, the technology. I don't know. Just, like, the library is very mysterious and, like, old, and
right.
Like, there are lots of magical books, but then there's also the Xbox downstairs that they're playing, like, Mario Kart on. So I'm like, I don't know. It's just weird. It's a weird vibe she's created.
The next couple things I took, this is a specific quote that made me laugh. I was driving while listening to it. I did voice type this. A fallen angel with a bad boy vibe for Miles. That killed me. It took me out.
A fallen angel with a bad boy vibe for Miles.
Yeah.
Oh, and might I say, facts on God.
Sexy AF.
Sexy AF.
There is a chapter in this book titled "Things Hot Pink and Harry Styles Have in Common."
Which
that is the name of a chapter.
She names all the chapters, but, like, she's trying to be like quirky about them, and it's so embarrassing. It's so cringy.
Awful. And then in that same chapter, she, like, goes to take a shower, and she gets out of the shower and she puts on her pajamas, which are just, like, a pair of pajama pants and a Harry Styles t-shirt from his first solo tour. And she walks out of the bathroom, and Macy is in their room dancing to Watermelon Sugar.
I forgot about that.
All of that is written in the chapter.
What? Like, how can you preserve... Like,
like, girl, put all your favorite things in your author biography, not in your...
100%, Amelia. 100%.
Like, what are you talking about?
That?
Oh, it's insane. And then this is the last note I made. We pretty much touched on everything else. But I literally, every time I think about this, I die. When Jaxon is, like, they're texting, they're getting close, whatever, like, before they actually give the whole thing a chance, he, like, sends a book to her room.
Oh, yeah.
And she's like, what could this be? It's a fucking copy of Twilight.
It's a copy of the first Twilight.
He's, like, trying to warn her. He's trying to warn her. He sends her a copy of Twilight.
The truth is, like, he tries to warn her throughout the whole book, but then, like, whenever she's asks so about it, he's like, oh, I can't tell you. Like, you shouldn't know. But then he's also warning her the whole time. Like, it's
so stupid.
It's confusing. Like, there's not really... I don't know. There's no depth to any of the characters at all.
Crazy. But yeah, so now that you guys have a little overview of that book, honestly, I think we could have done, like, 3 episodes on this. We're gonna do some pages from the other books.
Go for it.
So
I'm curious to, like,
just, like,
if there are 6 other books, what else could happen? Like,
well,
they have to explore her gargoyle arc.
Yes,
I forgot about that.
Also, it looks like a little friend comes back from the dead.
Oh, Hudson, buddy.
Mm-hmm. So the first chapter is called of the second book, which is called Crush. The chapter is called Woke Up Like This.
Whoa, hey, I just woke up like this.
I'm gonna, like,
sexy AF.
I'm gonna speed read these because I do have to go soon.
Okay.
But it's okay. Being the lone human in a school for paranormals is precarious at the best of times. At the worst of times, it's a little like being the last chew toy in a room full of rabid dogs.
Okay.
And at average times, it's honestly pretty cool. And then she talks a little bit.
Wait, I thought she was
maybe
frozen.
It's the fact that everyone.
She was frozen, like in a.
No, she's back.
Okay. So they just don't touch.
Or maybe it's the fact that everyone, and I mean everyone, is staring at me. And it's not in that best of times kind of way. Then again, when is it ever? You'd think I've gotten used to the staring by now, since it kind of comes with the territory when you're a vampire prince's girlfriend. But nope, and definitely not okay when every vampire, witch, dragon, and werewolf in the place is stopping to stare at you with their eyes wide and their mouths gaping even wider.
Oh yeah, I did forget Jaxon.
So
Jaxon is the prince, the vampire prince. So
okay, and then the last chapter. Oh, okay.
No, ahead. Just like the Xbox of it all, and then but he's also like the vampire prince. I don't know. It just makes so weird.
The Xbox of it all is like the best sentence I've heard. And then the last chapter of this one, chapter 125, is called Between a Rock and a Hard Place. It's pretty long, so let me skip towards the last few pages. All right, here we go. But Hudson isn't in the mood to put up with anything from him right now. Bury her, he commands, right now, or you won't like what happens next. That much I can promise you. Macy's eyes widen in fear, and I want to tell her he doesn't mean it, but both she and Jaxon must take him at his word because Jaxon is using his telekinesis to slowly, methodically cover me with small stones and pebbles. He starts at my feet, dropping more and more of the tiny rocks on top of me, then slowly, carefully works his way up until my legs are covered, then my hips, then my ribcage and arms. I'm cold, so cold, but I struggle to hold on just a little longer. If this is the last time I'm going to see these people, my family, then I'm going to hold on to the very last second. Macy is full on ugly crying now. Jackson's eyes are locked sadly on mine, and Hudson is crouched down at the head of the grave, his fingers gently, gently, gently stroking my hair. I watch the three of them until the end, until the stones reach past my neck and there's no more time left. Then and only then do I close my eyes and let the earth and the stone take me. And that is the end of book 2.
What? She's like friends with Jaxon now? Or is he the bad guy still?
With Hudson?
Oh yeah, Hudson.
Jaxon?
Hudson, I mean.
Oh, I think Hudson's still the bad guy.
Okay, why is he stroking her hair like that?
I don't know, because he's evil?
Amelia,
I don't know.
I have to go to the bathroom so bad.
Okay, go.
Okay, you continue to read, though, and commentary to our friends, okay?
Okay,
I'll be back in 2 seconds.
I'm actually going to look up the order of the books and make sure I get this right. Okay. Lucy Saxon is going to pee. This is a crazy episode. But that's okay. We're all over the place. Okay. Book 3 is called Covet. The covers of these books are also, like, look them up. They're kind of crazy. So this one's called Covet. I'm opening it right now. It's taking a really long time to load. None of my technology is working today, as we know. Okay. The first chapter, chapter 0, not chapter 1, chapter 0, is called Life After Death. And it starts, this isn't how it's supposed to happen. This isn't how anything was supposed to happen. Then again, when has my life gone according to plan this year? From the moment I first got to Catmere Academy, so much has been out of my control. Why should this moment be any different? I finished pulling up my tights and straighten my skirt. Then I slide my feet into my favorite pair of black boots. Okay, I'm just stopping here because literally the end of every book, she's like dead. And then the start of the next book, she's putting on her uniform to go to school. What? I'm looking through some of it. But everything seems normal. From the first day at Catmere, Macy has been this irrepressible presence. Light to Jackson's dark enthusiasm, to Hudson's sarcasm, joy to my sorrow, but now it's like every single speck of glitter has disappeared from her life. I do not know what's going on here. Maybe we do need to read the rest of the series, because this is crazy. Okay. Now we're gonna skip to the end, which is chapter... Jesus! It is chapter 161. Dude, this is crazy. So Lucy's back.
Hey.
Essentially, the book starts with her putting on her school uniform and going to class again.
What?
Like, she keeps dying at the end of every book and then waking up and putting her uniform on. It's like, oh my god, my life's so crazy.
That's all so weird.
But yeah, the last chapter of this one is chapter 161. It's called Crown Your Sorrows. Going towards the end again. Okay. Hudson must feel my excitement because he nods at me and even grins a little. I love that he reads me so easily and that despite the bickering, we're so often on the same page when it really matters. And so I turn back around and say in a loud, clear voice, yes, if you give me the crown to save my friends, afterward I promise to search for your mate and give it to her. What is going on? For the longest time, the gargoyle doesn't move. He just studies me with eyes that glow older with every second that passes. Eyes that seem to hold eternity in their pewter gray depths. I'm about to say it again to ask if he's okay, but then, quick as a striking snake, he grabs my hand and says, agree. His palm slides against mine, and then he takes off running toward the entrance of the cave. What the? Jackson tries to race after him, but I stop him. Wait, let him go. It's okay. There's nowhere to run, and we can chase after him in a minute. But the crown, Macy says. He gave me something, I answer, scratching at my palm because it's suddenly burning and itching. I turn it over, and tattooed right in the center of my hand, taking up almost my entire palm, is a series of 7 concentric circles in the shape of a wreath or a crown. I hold up my hand for friends to see, and as they all crowd around, I can't help asking, now what? That's it.
Okay.
Okay, that's the end of book 3.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm gonna have a heart attack.
I know. I'm actually gonna freak out.
These books are putting us through. Like, what is happening? Okay, we're speed running the last few. Book 4 is called Court. Someone is waiting for this book, so I have to return it as soon as we're done. Someone needs to read.
Someone has to read Court.
Someone has to. Okay. All right, chapter 0.
Ugh, come on. Chapter 1
is called Fake It Till It Breaks You, and it's from Hudson's point of view.
Whoa.
We are totally fucked.
Oh, awesome.
And if Grace's terrified expression is any indication, she knows it too. I want to tell her everything is going to be okay, but the truth is I'm terrified too, just not for the same reason
so
she is.
Hudson
I'm not ready to go there yet.
Hudson and her are friends now?
I guess.
Okay.
She's never looked more beautiful or more defenseless. Sorry, I'm like
OMG, is she in a throuple with
know every single
2
file.
brothers?
Ooh. Ooh. I think the gargoyle's name is Cyrus.
Okay.
I'm seeing.
Okay, gargoyle.
I'm skipping through a little bit.
I want to know, like, if they ever address her being a gargoyle. What?
Oh my god. She fake punches me in the shoulder. I will get it out of you one day. Wait, is this Grace? Oh my god, this is Grace.
So is she in love with Hudson now?
She runs her soft hand along the stubble on my jaw, her eyes turning serious again. I have forever to keep guessing, mate. And just like that, I'm on fire. I love you, I whisper and lean down to brush my lips across hers. Once, twice, but Grace is having none of it. She reaches up and holds my head between her palms, her lashes fluttering across my cheeks before she demands everything from me. My breath, my heart, my very soul. When we're both breathless, I lean back and hold her gaze. I could get lost in the depths of her warm brown eyes for an eternity. I love you, I tell her again. I know, she teases. Oh my god.
Oh my god, she was obsessed with...
Oh, and then he...
Does he...
She starts crying.
What?
And then he says, babe, it's gonna be okay.
Wait.
Okay. I don't know what's going on.
So now she's in love with Hudson. Okay.
I guess.
So it was a whole thing about mates in the first one where Leah thought that Jackson was Grace's mate, but apparently Hudson is her mate. Oh, I wonder what happened to Leah then. Oh, no.
So,
oh, wait, Leah's dead.
Oh, I forgot she died. Okay. Chapter 175 is called The End Game.
I wanna be your end game.
I wanna be your first string. I wanna be your... Okay. Ed Sheeran's verse in that song makes me want to die laughing every time. I'm so sorry. I can't take that
don't
seriously.
apologize to me. I don't like him.
Okay. Hudson gives me a what the hell look, and I shrug sheepishly. It doesn't quite seem time yet to go our separate ways, not when we've come this far together. I'm very interested, Flint says, looking at Jackson. Me too, Jackson agrees. I'm in, Eden says with a grin. I'll text David and invite them and Amir. Who are all these people? Me too. Macy starts spinning a portal. How about Remy? Should we text him an invite? And Miki? I'll reach out, but Remy's with Calder's family right now, I answer quietly, and Miki is getting looked at by the vampire court's healers. You're coming too, right? Hudson asks Izzy, and it's hard to... Who are all of these people?
But also, like, why are they so chill with Jackson right now when she's, like, hopping between the brothers? Like, what's going on?
Hudson and Jackson have spent their whole lives without their sister or each other. There's a sister.
Oh, there's a sister. Okay.
You're coming, I tell her. You're what? I think Izzy's the sister. You don't have to stay the whole time, but you're definitely coming. Who else is going to help me keep Hudson and Jackson in line? At first, I think she's going to argue, but in the end, she just shoves her hands in her pockets and shrugs.
Is she in love with both of them? Like, what is going on?
I have no idea. Flint shoots her a wicked grin and says, race you to the ocean, right before he dives into Macy's portal. Izzy squawks and jumps in after him, followed by Jackson and Eden. Hudson looks at me with a huge grin and holds out his hand. I take it, of course I do, and we walk through the portal together. That is the end of book 4.
But she's in love with Hudson now. I'm kind of like, I'm kind of love their love. Like,
Hudson and...
Yeah, I don't like Jackson at all.
Real. He's a bad boy, a fallen angel with bad boy vibes for Miles.
He's a fallen angel with bad boy vibes for Miles. Okay.
The first chapter of the 5th book, which is called, I don't even know, Charm, is called Nearly Gutless Grace. My head feels strange. Actually, every part of me feels strange, and I don't have a clue what's going on.
Oh, thank God she's not starting at school again.
But all I can see is Jackson's face. He's smiling at me. What is happening?
Do you like Jackson or Hudson?
Wait. Am I reading this in the right order? I am.
Is she with Jackson now?
This makes no sense.
She just loves both of them. She's just a girl who's in love with 2 men.
Wait, just like that, it all comes flooding back. A scream tears through me, and I instinctively jerk away from Hudson's blade. Except there is no blade. I realize as I arch backward, there is no Hudson, no Jackson, no hallway, and no Catmere Academy.
Oh, she's probably...
Where am I? Where did everyone go?
It's probably a flashback from one of the, like, the second book or something. Do you think?
Did Jackson's brother actually kill me with that sword? Am I dead right now? I am reading this in the right order.
Maybe you're not, because... No way she's buddy-buddy, like, linking up with Hudson, and then now she's, like, terrified.
No, Charm is book 5.
This is exhausting. Could someone just tell me what happens?
And there's, like... Yeah, this is our homework to our listeners. Read this entire series.
Read it and just let us know what happens, please. We've explained the first book. Start on the second. Let me know, please.
Oh, I think she forgot things. There's an epilogue in this one. It's called It's All Coming Back to Me Now.
Oh,
Fall semester of college.
I hate that. Like,
I remember.
The trope where someone forgets, like, everything, including, like, their love. Like, that stresses me out.
So now she's in college. And it starts, I remember, I whisper as memories flood my system. Oh my God, Hudson, I remember everything. My hands are shaking as I reach up to cup his face. But then, so as the rest of me, as memory after memory comes flooding back. So they remember the Shadow Realm, the Lair, the leeches. What? Seriously? The fucking leeches? That's what you want to talk to me about right now?
Oh, Hudson's mad.
I have no idea what's happening.
What about Jackson?
Because I love you, Grace, and because I understood. All right, now they're making out. Oh, he has Versace boxer briefs. What?
Hey.
I don't know what's happening.
Versace boxer briefs. I love that.
Shadow magic is all this magic in the world. You gave me a promise ring when we were in Giant City.
Wait, Me when you gave me a promise ring when we were in Giant City. Hold on.
Literally on God for real.
Facts on God. Hudson is speaking facts on God.
He gave her a promise ring in Giant City AF.
And it was sexy AF.
Oh my god. Oh. I'm already bound to you, and not just through the mating bond, so they're mates.
Okay, she's taking the mating bond from Court of Thorns and Roses. It sounds exactly the same.
Through anything, through everything, through eternity, no matter what.
No, babe, I gave you a promise ring in the Giant City.
She gives him an early birthday present. It's amazing he loves me anyway, but he does love me despite the mess. Love isn't always easy, and it isn't always pretty. What is happening? She calls him vain and arrogant and sarcastic. A terrible cook. She's about to propose to him, I think. She tells him all the ways she loves him. The gift is a bracelet. Okay, so she gives him a bracelet that seemingly is like, she has the promise ring, and I guess, like, there's some sort of significance there. But she gives him that, and then that's it. That's it. That's the end of the book.
Okay.
They, like, go to get their friends back or something. Sorry, guys, that was a really anticlimactic one. That just, like, I did not need 10 pages of whatever that was. And then there is a 5th book. I forget what it's called, but it was not available at my library. Or a 6th book, sorry. So you guys are going to have to use your imagination.
I'm sure it ends,
Yay.
you know, the same way all the other ones end. What a crazy
she's dying, and then
series. I don't know if I don't have anything else to say. I have no comment at this time.
I don't either, but I also need to leave like 15 minutes ago.
100%.
So let's wrap this one up, and let's leave some feedback. Message us with your
leave
thoughts
some
about
feedback,
this series, whatever,
or read it, and
we'll follow.
Let us know.
We'll follow up in the next episode.
Yep. Love you guys. Okay. Kisses.
Thank you, babies. Bye bye.